Well, hey everyone, welcome back to FU Cancer. We are so fortunate today to welcome the official dietitian nutritionist of the Tulsa Ballet, located in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Amanda Settle, here to talk with us about eating for optimal movement. So, Amanda is a dear friend of mine. We've known each other for years, and she is by far one of my favorite dietitians. She enjoys helping clients with gastrointestinal and weight loss challenges create a mealtime strategy that really fits their lifestyle in order to become the healthiest version of themselves. She graduated from the University of Oklahoma with a degree in nutritional science and dietetics, is a certified diabetes care and education specialist, and has also completed training for healthcare professionals for the low FODMAP diet indicated for irritable bowel syndrome or IBS from Monash University. Amanda recently launched a private practice called Nutrition Wise, headquartered in Effingham, Illinois, where she contracts with clinics, medical spas, and other health conscious organizations like the Tulsa Ballet across the United States to help their clients meet their individualized nutrition goals. Thanks for listening to the FU Cancer Podcast. My name is Christina Rollins. I'm a dietitian, mom, and wife to a pretty awesome cancer survivor. We said FU to cancer nearly 25 years ago and are still going strong. I'm excited to share the FU Cancer movement, where we are a community of survivors, fighters, caregivers, and advocates, connecting our shared experiences, passion, and determination to live a holistic and well-balanced life. Stay tuned, because we've got a lot to talk about. So, Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today at FU Cancer.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
So, tell us about the Tulsa Ballet.
Yeah, so this obviously is very near and dear to my heart. I grew up dancing my entire life. In high school, I was a trainee with the Tulsa Ballet, so I've been very connected with them my entire life. And I still have my family, my friends, a lot of my roots are still in the Tulsa area. And I had reached out to the artistic director a few years ago when I started my private practice, because part of my practice is also virtual, not just in person. And I just kind of reached out to him and said, hey, if you are ever in need of a dietitian, I am virtual. And a couple of years later, he reached back out to me and said, hey, you know what? I really want a dietitian who is also a ballet dancer and really understands what my dancers need and would love to have you on board. So this is my third season with the ballet, and it is just it's such a, I call it kind of a for fun job. It's just so enjoyable for me to kind of marry my two passions for nutrition and ballet.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, what's the ideal diet plan to help us stay active?
So I wouldn't say there's necessarily like one ideal, but if we can kind of get away from as much processed food as possible and really just kind of, there's that term clean eating, really eat more of our whole food. So kind of that food first approach to eating. So getting our lean meats and whole grains, fresh fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, really incorporating all of those whole foods into a balanced and healthy diet. Kind of still the gold standard is that Mediterranean style type of eating. And that's actually a lot of what the ballet dancers kind of follow to begin with, which is nice. They probably are some of the healthiest eaters I have ever met. So when I work with the dancers, it's really kind of nitpicking just little things. For example, if they're vegetarian, making sure that they're getting adequate sources of vitamin B12. Just little things like that to kind of help them stay in top shape.
And are there certain foods that you recommend either the athletes or just kind of the general population eat before activity or exercise?
Right. So, what we want to eat before exercise really depends on the type of exercise that we're doing, the intensity, the duration of the type of workout that we're doing. In general, we want to have a good combination of carbohydrates for energy, protein for muscle support, and healthy fats for sustained fuel if you're doing a longer workout. And it kind of depends also on what time you're having that meal. For example, if we're going to be eating 2 to 3 hours before exercise, having maybe a slightly larger meal, something like chicken, brown rice, and veggies, maybe some salmon and sweet potatoes, or a quinoa bowl with beans and avocado, really kind of getting that good mix of all those macronutrients. But if we're eating maybe something smaller right before exercise. So maybe 30 to 60 minutes before a workout, something a little smaller and easier to digest, like a banana with peanut butter, Greek yogurt with some berries, whole grain toast with avocado, maybe even a smoothie or protein shake, something along those lines.
And what about after exercise? Because we hear a lot in the media about protein and getting that recovery in to build your muscles. So where's the truth lie? Like what should we be eating to best recover our bodies?
Right. So it is more than just protein, although, yes, we do want to replace that protein fairly quickly after a workout. So, protein rich foods for muscle growth and repair. So, again, like our lean meats, fish, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, or plant-based options too. So things like lentils, beans, chickpeas, even tofu, something like that, or a protein shake. It could be a plant-based protein shake too to recover for muscle recovery. Also carbohydrates though, because we need to refuel energy and replace, some of that glycogen that we may have used during exercise. So again, those healthy whole food carbohydrate sources like sweet potatoes, quinoa, oats, fruits, other whole grains. Also healthy fats. So healthy fats are also important. This helps to reduce inflammation and support recovery. So things like avocados, nuts and seeds, olive oil, fatty fish like salmon. Also, vitamins and minerals, those play a key role in muscle recovery too. So, leafy greens, berries, again, lots of those fresh fruits and vegetables, even milk and dairy products. And then also, of course, hydration. That's, again, a huge part of that. So, water would be the best source.
So one thing I've not heard you mention is protein powder. So
Mhm.
where do supplements fit into the mix, or should they? Should they be part of our regimen?
Great question. I'm kind of a food first approach kind of a person. However, I personally also enjoy protein shakes just because they're quick, they're easy. You can cram quite a bit of protein as well as other vitamins and minerals into one small shake. I personally do a plant-based protein and then I mix that with a half of a banana and some frozen berries so that you're getting that good mix of some protein, healthy fats, healthy carbohydrates fluids. It's kind of an all-encompassing. So yes, absolutely. It's good either pre-workout or post-workout for muscle recovery.
Well, Amanda, as you know, FU Cancer is designed to support individuals impacted by cancer. And I know from my experiences, both working on the oncology unit as well as my husband, who is a cancer survivor, that sometimes eating anything can be a challenge. So optimal eating kind of goes out the window, and the goal is really just to eat something, right? So what can individuals experiencing adverse effects like nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, what can they do to eat well?
Great question. And you bring up a good point because sometimes, yes, what would be kind of an optimal way of eating either pre or post workout may not be feasible in certain situations. So really it's kind of about finding maybe the things that sound the best to someone that might be the most nutrient dense. So we're looking more for nutrient density with some of those foods. Even if it's a blander food, maybe even something like applesauce or a plain yogurt, things like that, boiled potatoes that are just kind of maybe a softer texture, maybe slightly more bland, easy to digest, especially if there's nausea. Even just eating smaller, more frequent meals too throughout the day, that might be better rather than trying to eat a lot, or more at one time. That can cause some nausea. Even eating things that are more room temperature, so avoiding things that are maybe really cold or really hot. Again, using milder seasonings, if any seasoning at all. Um, Broths, soups, things like that. Avoiding anything that has like a really strong smell, or that can kind of trigger some nausea. If they're experiencing a lot of fatigue, trying to go for more of those protein rich foods. And that could even be things like peanut butter, eggs, plain Greek yogurt, things that are just a little bit more mild, a softer texture, trying to stay as hydrated as possible throughout all of this. If they have difficulty swallowing or sores in the mouth or anything like that, again, going for those softer foods, avoiding things that are spicy, too hot, anything like that. So. just kind of it's kind of whatever you can get in, but trying to go for more of those nutrient dense foods whenever you can find something that you can tolerate to eat. Supplementation's not a bad idea either. If you know you're not getting all of your nutrients in, supplementing with vitamins, minerals, protein powders, not a bad thing.
Well, and I think it with individuals touched by cancer as well as others, not every day is going to be perfect. So if it's a day where you're not feeling as well, eat what you can, tolerate what you can, exercise if you're able, and then other days that are better, then take advantage of that and maybe exercise a little bit more and choose some more variety in your diet.
Absolutely. Mhm.
Well, thank you, Amanda, so much for joining us today. Really, it's always a pleasure to talk with you, and I know you're a busy lady, so we appreciate you hopping on today.
Thanks for having me.
And listeners, you can continue your learning at our website, fucancer.health. And of course, follow the FU Cancer podcast on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you access your favorite content. Until next time, I'm Christina Rollins. Thanks for listening.